Hey guys, before we start the video, I just want to give you guys a brand new code that has just come out. Shout out to Biscuit who found this for us in our guild. So for the rest of you guys who are looking to see what this code is, here's some free things for you. So put in Drake or DrakiosOH, and this code should give you some free items. There you go. Free things. Why not? Free new code. All right, guys, let's get into the video. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Payne. Welcome back to another Omniheroes video. Alright guys, I'm going to cover something that I think a lot of people have been asking about, and it's a pretty important question, especially because a lot of free-to-play players are now getting close to this achievement, and a lot of players are wondering what the best option is to choose in this coveted prize, and that is going to be none other than the Goddess Trials, and that is going to be picking between any of these D&D selection heroes. Okay, and I'm going to go through each one of them and give you guys my feedback in terms of who was the best choice and why. Now, this is not going to be like this unit's the best. This is going to be like this unit's the best for this synergy. And I think it's really important to note that because a lot of these heroes are going to be SS heroes, meaning the top tier heroes on the tier list. So the question becomes, who do you go for? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about each hero and discuss what makes them unique and what makes them worthwhile on almost any team versus the ones that are going to be secluded specifically in their own synergies, okay? So we start off with Thalanus first. Now Thalanus is going to be one of the most sought after PvP characters in the game period because she has a 2-turn stun that can pretty much completely decapitate an opponent from even taking a turn and just stop them from even competing in PvP. She's absolutely incredibly powerful. The problem with Thalanus is you need to have 12 stacks of attack boost for that stun to really apply. You can have 6 stacks for the 1 turn, but you really are aiming for the 12 stacks for the attack boost for 2 turns of stun. Okay, so you do have that priority there, and the issue with that becomes that the Glorians specifically apply attack boost as you have more and more of them, right? So she actually is required essentially to sit on a Glorian's team to really shine. So if you're going to main a Glorian, she would be choice number 2. Okay? She's not choice number 1, and I'll tell you guys why. Because Gwyn over here will be choice number 1. Gwyn is actually one of the only units, one of many actually, D&D units that can sit. Let me take that back. One of few, I say one of many that I found, like there's not that many. One of few D&D units that can actually shine on any team and brings a load of utility for all synergies, okay? So he would be your number 1 choice from a Glorian perspective, okay? If you're going to build a Glorian team or if you want to just have a unit that can shine on any team, Gwyn is one of the most important units out there. Not only that he does like an assassin skill at magic damage, hitting the lowest current HP. But if the target has 6 stacks of defense reduction, he also applies 100% leech rate on that target. If the target has 12 stacks of defense reduction, then he can apply 200 leech rate. Getting defense reduction, guys, is really, really easy in this game. Like, a lot of units provide it. So this is why it's so important to have him with units that can do that, right? So, like, prime examples is Dorabella or Katarina. Like, all these units can do defense reduction. So having him with even the ethereal team can really boost your damage. Now, not only that does he provide leech rate, but at the same time, every time he takes damage on his passive, right, the whole team gains an attack boost. So super important to note, he can really boost you guys from a damage perspective really, really quickly. If he's taking a lot of AoE damage or just single target damage and being targeted, you guys can place him in the front and you guys can see how that works, obviously, that he can take the most amount of damage, all right? Now, he also has a backline attack that has attack reduction on the target and does 3 stacks of it every time. So like when I said Gwyn brings a lot of utility, I really meant it. The attack boost, the defense reduction leech rate that he applies, well, when somebody has defense reduction, 6 or 12, obviously 100% for 6, 200% for 12, and then obviously the massive gain in attack when he gets hit, and then lastly, of course, the fact that he falls under the Deviant and Glorians and can pretty much sit on any single team, and he also has attack reduction for the back line, which is huge because most of the people's DPS are out there. So Gwyn, number 1 for the Glorians, for sure. Thalanus is second. Now, I'm not going to talk about Halios and Doomsdayers because I think they're the worst units in the game. He's a good unit himself, but he doesn't fit on every team. So he does offer defense up, which is good. He does have a single target stun, which is good. but he wouldn't be like a choice here. I would not choose him for sure. Thalos here, if you are going to run a Mystifiers team, he's actually really good for that. He offers a shield. He also applies a stun that he can do for 2 turns. He also gives the Corrode a 50% more damage dealt option as well. So he's actually a really good choice for Mystifier teams. But to be honest, between the two, Dullahan's probably better. And the reason why is Dullahan actually has a taunt on 3 units for 2 rounds, and taunts essentially just allow other opponents to do basic attacks, rendering them pretty useless, right? Also, the more debuffs an opponent has with the Crow team, you're going to have a lot of those. It increases the taunt chance by 1%. Not to mention that he also has a shield that he applies 15% of his own max HP on himself, making him, again, super hard to kill. And then he also increases the corrode stack by 5. So I find that he would be the better of the 2 options. He's also more rare. For me personally, I've only had 1 drop of him ever, right? So I think Dullahan is a better option, but I think Thalos is easier to get. So it's really up to you which way you want to go. But I still wouldn't choose them because Mystifiers to me are a good team, but they're not the best team to start with, right? Or to even end with. So these 2 are completely optional whether you want to go that way or not. Lachesis, best healer in the game. Really good option if you're going to go again with an Avenger team. Single target heal, has a 100% chance to dispel all buffs from all targets, from enemies specifically. Also has the ability to provide an active skill of healing to all allies. And then also Lachesis applies 4 stacks of healing rate bonus to the ally team, which also obviously lets you take more healing. So the best healer in the game for sure. Persephone's close. So if you're looking to run an Avengers team, you don't really need her if you have Persephone, to be honest with you. But she is the better of the options, obviously because of the fact that she's a D&D character. But I wouldn't choose her as my number 1 for Avengers. I'd go Persephone and then honestly choose Ardina here as your number 1 for Avengers because she's the better DPS. Incredible AoE magic damage, has damage reduction, attack reduction on the opponents, attack boost on all allied teams. When she's deployed, all allies recover 10% of their max HP every turn. Can be triggered twice per round, which is incredible. And then, of course, more dodge rate equals more attack. So she would definitely be the number 1 option for the Avengers team, and then Lachesis would be number 2. So it's up to you which way you want to go. Ardina for sure, though. Now, the more important units that people mostly ask about are between Karnak and Mestima. Karnak wins this one hands down. Hands down. The reason why Karnak wins this is because he gives you guys 100%, like a crit boost at a 100% chance rate every time every time he lands a critical hit. So everybody gets the crit boost, and that gives you an extra 5% of crit. It can stack up to 5 times. So that alone is utility that you want, especially for Ethereals, because they're all about crit. And then when he does his basic attack, his active attack, he does an AoE that hits 4 random enemies. Landing a crit here also provides another crit boost. So you can stack that fairly quickly. His passive also is deployed every time an ally lands a crit. There's a 100% chance to heal the entire team. And then also the healing, providing healing equal to attack 50% of his attack plus 3% of the target's max HP. So he does quite a bit for your team. And then not to mention just having him on the team with his last passive, when he's deployed, you actually increase your crit boost by another 5. So you can go up to 10 stacks of crit. So he is by far the better unit to start with. Mestima is a better DPS overall, but he does take a massive amount of crit to build to that point because everything scales off of crit for him. If you don't have high enough crit, Mestima is not that good. So you will always go for Karnak. Karnak will be your number 1 choice, guys, for this team for sure. Okay, out of the Valianters, there's no question. Macaria. Macaria is the best choice to go because she fits on any team. Not only does she do massive AoE damage, she also increases the damage by 20% for every stack of defense reduction she has, up to 150%, so her AoE hits incredibly hard. She works really well with Ethereals as well. She also has the active to apply 2 stacks of attack reduction for 3 rounds on opponents, and then also she has her passive, which when she's deployed increases the shield effect of all allies by 50%. So she is easily the better of the 2 characters in my opinion. So Macaria would be your Valianters. So I think we covered it all. Who is the best choice to go with? So I'd go with 2. I'd go with Gwyn or Karnak. Those are the 2 best. You cannot go wrong with either of those. Macaria is a close third. So if you are looking for a full-on Valianters team, then you can go with her. But I'd say Gwyn first, Karnak second, for their respective places, and also the fact that they can just plug and play in any team, and then Makaria third. So your choice which way you want to go. Everyone else is completely optional and good as well, but they require a lot more and don't fit on every team and on every synergy. These guys are pretty much plug and play almost on any synergy you plan to use. So there you guys have it. Those are my suggestions. Those are the top 3 I would go with. You can't go wrong with any of them. This is Payne. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it was insightful, and good luck, guys, getting to this point. You guys still have, quite a few days to do so, and I know you guys can pull it off. So 4 days left. It's not bad. Try to push these as much as you can, and try to get this as well. If you can't, of course, you're being provided 6,000 diamonds by completing this. And I know a lot of you guys will get that anyways. So best of luck. Hope this helped. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.